The Kids Who Played with Singing Angels is a 30-minute children's musical story audiobook created and produced by Healthy Stages, Changing the Stories, the Sierra Association of Foster Families, and FARJA Singers. Written and narrated by Joseph Galata and sung by the FARJA Family Singers. This entertaining program was recorded at the American Matters Media Studio in Reno, Nevada. Enjoy.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Every day, a wonderful and very curious boy or girl comes up to me and says, "Grandpa Giggles, how did you get your funny name?" I always say, because, well, I like to hear kids giggle. Giggling is fun. Oh, I wish I could hear many boys and girls giggle right now. Oh, I'm so happy right now. Do it again. Oh, please, please, giggle again. Well, today I'm going to tell a story. Inside the story, I call The Kids Who Played with Singing Angels. Now, I have a lot of different stories. Story number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and maybe someday I'll be able to say 100 or even 1,000 or even 1,000,000 stories. But today's story, I'm just calling it number 1. It's about 3 kids who need to learn how to giggle. And hopefully, they'll learn how by the end of the story. And, well, okay, I'm just going to start the story. Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, like yesterday, there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of children having a lot of fun in the Wander and Wonder Children's Play Museum. But there were 3 kids who certainly weren't having any fun. They were running, weaving, darting, sprinting, and dashing all over the museum. I was trying to catch them for a number of reasons. One being I didn't want them to fall and get hurt. A second reason is that I didn't want them to knock any of the other kids down. And thirdly, I didn't want them to bump into any of our entertaining exhibits and amusing games or fall into our beautiful gardens or scare the goats, chickens, roosters roaming about in our animal farm or damage the delightful equipment on the magical playground or scatter all about the superb arts and crafts materials. You see, I was busy entertaining kids with my prancing and dancing in front of the up, down, and all-around musical merry-go-round when I first saw the 2 boys and the 1 girl running. I know they saw and heard me shouting, "No running in the museum!" They couldn't miss seeing or hearing me. I was wearing green and yellow socks, purple pants, orange shirt, a hat decorated with silver stars, and I have a very loud voice from spending many years as a storyteller on stages in theaters, school auditoriums, conference centers, museums, and, do you know what, boys and girls? Even on television. Right when the 3 kids darted past the cafeteria is when I decided I needed to chase them. I really would have preferred to go inside the cafeteria and tell stories to the children who were sitting at the purple and yellow tables, giggling, as they were delightfully munching on cold, juicy watermelon and cantaloupe and cherries and strawberries and squishy, mushy bananas. The Wonder and Wonder Children's Play Museum only serves healthy food. No junk food allowed. Well, to cut to the chase, I was watching a group of kids squealing with delight at the Give the Turtles a Bath pond attraction that is right next to another group of kids who were at the Squirmy, Wormy Caterpillar and Butterfly Garden that is right next to the Rice-a-Dice Rice Husking field game when I lost sight of the 3 kids. "Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, sir. Watch out, little boy. Oh, move to the side, little girl. I don't want to shove anyone." I was trying to politely warn them to move out of my way so I could continue following the 3 kids. Everyone was surprised, confused, even scared. Of course, there were quite a few adults who did what they enjoy doing without even stopping to think why they are doing it. You know what I'm talking about, boys and girls? Pointing their cell phones and taking videos. Oh, I caught sight of the 2 boys and the girl, so I picked up my speed. And trust me, those kids could run fast. I noticed that the 2 boys were wearing very dirty and torn clothes. But the girl, she was dressed in what appeared to be a very expensive and beautiful yellow dress with matching shoes and bows in her blonde hair. The boys' shoes has holes in them, and they had no shoelaces, and I couldn't figure out how they could each be running so fast and not tripping over their feet, and I was thinking that if any shoe fell off, the boys would fall flat onto the ground. Yep, 2 boys, 1 girl. I'm pretty smart and an observant grandpa, so I recognized that one of the boys, who looked terrified, was about 7 years old. The other boy, who was breathing so heavily that I thought his chest was going to explode, he looked to be about 6 years old. And the girl, whose blonde ponytail was flapping side to side, appeared to be about 5 years old. All three of them were rapidly weaving through the crowds, but not politely, that's for sure, because people were furious. Hey, watch it! Who do you think you are? Why don't you mind your manners? Where are your parents? But I noticed the little girl was crying. Running at full speed, they were heading towards the humongous, magical white castle glowing from beams of blue lights. 5 women, dressed in white gowns, with garlands of pink flowers laced through their hair, sat on sparkling silver chairs at the entrance. In the Wonder and Wonder Children's Play Museum, all the kids call them the Singing Angels.
I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside to study war no more.
As the 3 kids ran closer and closer, the singing from the angelic women grew louder.
Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more.
The frightened children who were huffing and puffing nearly fell onto the golden brick drawbridge leading into the castle entrance. And the eldest boy shouted to his terrified companions, "If we can get past the singing ladies, let's sneak into the castle. No one will find us, and we can hide in here until the park closes and everyone goes home. And so come on, follow me, tiptoe as quietly as possible." They tried to fool the angelic singers, but they failed. The woman with the brightest green eyes, they looked like sparkling emeralds in a queen's crown, said, "You may enter the castle. Go up the golden staircase, into the ruby room, down the silver staircase, down, 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 and way down, and then step outside, follow the geese and cows through the pasture, and then enter the red barn and wait for the Stardust train." The little girl who was still crying whispered, "Where will the train take us? I'm kind of scared." And the singing queen of the castle replied, "The Stardust is coming. The Stardust train is coming. Hurry. As soon as it stops, hop on. Don't diddle-daddle, or we'll leave without you. Goodbye." As the 3 kids ran through the castle door, they could smell the smoke from the train's elongated pipes overflowing into the air. They ran up, down, all around, up, down, all around. Then they saw it. Upon exiting a tunnel, the train stopped. The doors flew open, and the kids jumped into the caboose car. And immediately the train went zooming through the tunnel, and then into the luscious golden wheat fields, chugging up and down snow-covered mountains, zigzagging over haughty sandy deserts, bouncing across bridges over creeks and rivers, and the train soared through the sky, weaving all around the sparkling clusters of shining red, green, yellow, blue, and white stars. The kids heard a loud voice booming, "It's going to go higher and higher and faster, so hold your breath and pucker your lips." Their tired little bodies were shaking. Each one of them tried to open their mouth to scream as loud as they could, but their little teeth were chattering so rapidly they couldn't part their trembling lips. Suddenly, after the train twisted to the left, then turned to the right, then zoomed straight up for what seemed to be forever in time, and then went round and round and round and round in circles, the train screeched to a grinding halt. They heard the same voice shouting, "Jump off! Now quick, or it will take you to the haunted house!" Plop, plop, plop. "Where are we?" asked the 6-year-old boy. The kids looked around. Then they heard a voice say, "You are standing upon a star. It's one of the most magical stars in the entire universe. It's the special star that fills all children with playful dust, stardust." Suddenly, the gusty wind lifted them off the ground, sailing through the sky, unable to see, tossing round and round, bouncing up and down, twisting side to side. They were trying to scream, but they couldn't make a sound, and without warning, the clouds stopped spinning and floating, and gently dropping the 3 trembling kids into a forest of 1,000,000 tall and fat green trees. The bewildered kids looked around and saw, crawling out of an enormous body of turquoise lake, was an alligator. The alligator opened its jaws wide and said, "Even though you look quite delicious, I don't particularly enjoy the taste of dirty tennis shoes and silky dresses on my throat, and it is rather difficult on my digestive system." The alligator let out a loud belch. I could say excuse me, but I'm not in a polite mood. You see, as an alligator, I'm usually in the mood for revenge. But once, when I was a baby crocodile alligator in a swamp on Earth, I got lost from my mother, and a large snake was starting to wrap itself around me, and it was going to drown me and then eat me. But a lion jumped into the water and ripped the snake to shreds, and after that my parents would never allow me to play in the water again, and I spent my entire childhood lying in the hot sand. Boring life for a kid alligator whose parents don't allow him to play. Suddenly, in the sky, flying above the confused yet awestruck children, was a peacock. It swooped down and landed on the alligator's long snout and said, "Now it is my turn to help you children, now that the alligator has assisted you." "I want to go home," the little girl cried. She was terrified. The peacock flapped its colorful tail and flew away, and the alligator flapped its tail and swam away, and suddenly the kid saw a beautiful woman with a long, curly golden hair, dressed in gold robes and gold slippers, riding a golden-colored swan. She was calling out in a sing-song voice, "I am known as Anima Santa, the magic castle's playful family court judge." The golden swan rose out of the glistening gold river, though the beautiful woman remained seated, her legs dangling over the shimmering water bird's wings. "You 3 children are now in my court of law. Before I summon your parents, whom the police have called and are now waiting for them to arrive at the museum to search for you, I want to hear your excuses as to why you snuck into the museum without paying for tickets, why you jumped onto the musical merry-go-round without buying a ticket, why you grabbed a bag of cherries out of another kid's hands, and why you stole a stuffed teddy bear from the toss-a-ring-a-ding-ling game, since you did not pay for the pleasure of playing." Anima Santa shut her eyes and rubbed them with her long fingers. The 3 kids stood still, frozen like statues. After a few seconds of silence, the oldest boy cleared his throat and said, After we answer your questions, will you punish us by throwing us to the alligator for its lunch?" Well, Anima Santa, the magical castle's playful family court judge, lowered her fingers and opened her eyes. Blinding rays of golden light poured forth. "No, this alligator is made of stardust too. The trees surrounding you are made of stardust. The clouds and the water are also made of stardust. Everything in my magical castle is made of stardust. And since you are inside it at this moment, then all 3 of you should know that you are each made of stardust." The little girl sniffled and meekly asked, "Are you going to punish me?" Anima Santa tilted her head and offered the girl a comforting smile. "I need to hear your excuses for doing what you should not have been doing. Now you see, kids, in family courts, when someone appears before the judge because of doing something wrong, the person is known as a defendant. He or she tells stories about why they did something they weren't supposed to be doing. It's time for each of you now to tell me your story, because you are now defendants." The oldest boy, he drew in a deep breath, and he began. "My mother and father don't have any money for me to have fun, and I can't go to the amusement park, and I can't play baseball, and I can't go swimming in the public pool, and they don't have enough money, so I just sit in the house after school instead of playing, and in the summer I sit in the house instead of playing outdoors with other kids, and in the winter I sit in the house because my parents don't have enough money to buy me a sled so I can go sled riding." Anima Santa nodded her head, causing the golden light beams from her eyes to bounce up and down. "Well, what do you do while you are just sitting in your house?" The boy scratched his tangled hair and whispered in shame, "I just sit and watch television. It's the only fun I have, and to be honest, it's boring fun, but most of the time I'm just so bored." Anima Santa didn't smile. She then looked at the 6-year-old boy who was staring at the golden swan. "I would like to hear your story." He cleared his throat. "It was my idea to sneak into the museum without paying for a ticket. I snuck into the line, and I pretended I was choking on the cherry pit that I grabbed from the little boy when he wasn't looking. And when people got scared and picked me up and turned me upside down or grabbed me from behind and wrapped their arms around my stomach and pushed and pulled, well, everyone felt so scared, and that's when I pretended I swallowed the cherry pit, and I started to cry. I'm a very good actor, and then people felt sorry for me and then let me go ahead of them, and the ticket ladies and men forgot to ask for my ticket because they felt so relieved I didn't die." Anima Santa shook her head right to left to right, then left to right. "But why? The boy tried not to cry real tears. "Well, I'm a kid in foster care, and my foster parents don't have time to... They don't have time to take me to the museum, to the amusement park. They're so busy taking me to school and all those visitation meetings to see my real mom, who most of the time doesn't show up to see me, and then taking me to talk to my social workers and taking me to talk to my therapist so I can tell her how much I miss my mom, and then take me to the doctors, and then taking me to the school counselor and taking me everywhere but the park. My foster parents tell me they don't have time to take me to the lake to swim or take me to the mountains to hike, and I can't play soccer. I can't play on the soccer team because I'm always changing foster homes and would always miss practices and games, and I can't do anything but go to school and go to meetings, and I don't have any friends because they're always playing, and my foster parents keep telling me there's no time for them to allow me to play. So I wanted to come to the amusement park because then I could ride the rides and not go to any meetings." Anima Santa looked at the golden swan. It seemed to be crying. Then she turned her emerald green eyes on the little girl who had tears running down her cheeks. "I'm only 5 years old, and my parents are filthy rich. And they have so much money they don't know what to do with it all. But they don't take me to the museum. They just want me to sit in my bedroom or my parents' big fancy home office and play academic games on the internet. I have to play math games. I'm 5 years old, but I can count to 1,000,000 because I do math on the internet games, and I can speak 5 languages, English, Spanish, French, Chinese, and even Arabic, because my parents make me do language games on the internet, and I can write sentences and paragraphs like a teenager because my parents make me write essays about biology, chemistry, government, and religion, and they keep telling me they want me to grow up to be the smartest person in the family, but they don't let me play. I can't have any fun, so I came to the amusement park with these boys, and it was my idea actually, I don't have any ideas. I just do whatever my parents tell me to do. Oh, I want to go home. Please let me go home. I have an idea. Oh, no, I have an idea. I'll get lots of money from my parents, and I can buy the golden swan and take it home, and I can buy the alligator and take it home and put it in the bathtub." She lowered her head and cried harder than she had ever cried before. Anima Santa lifted her eyes to the top of the trees. "I want you to hear something very beautiful. Beautiful music from beautiful singing angels." The little girl whispered, "Where are they?" Anima Santa pointed her fingers towards the highest tree, and sitting on the branches were the 5 women in white robes with pink flowers in their hair, whom the kids had seen sitting outside the magical castle. Anima Santa whispered in return, "Go ahead, climb the branches and sit in the tree with them. Trees are lovely to play in. When you climb a tree, if you listen carefully enough, you can hear the trees, the birds, and even the angels singing together."
It's me, it's me, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, it's me, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, it's me, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer.
Suddenly a white horse with an owl riding on the horse's back trotted from the distance. Anima Santa said, "We are graced beyond graced to be in the presence of His Royal Majesty, the Angel Owl." "An angel owl?" the 7-year-old boy asked, his brown eyes raised in confusion. Anima Santa corrected him. "The angel owl, not an angel owl. There is only one angel owl ever, and since the beginning of time, when children first learned playing in the forest and the mountains, playing on the beach and in the ocean, playing in fields and yards, playing with other kids, making them feel wise and happy like angel owls always are when they fly through the air from one tree to another." Angel Owl spoke. "This forest is a playground where happiness and fun are every kid's rewards for playing." Flapping its wings, the beautiful bird flew up into the air and perched on a tree branch. To the 7-year-old boy it said, "Your parents spend so much time worrying about money that they don't worry about you being an angry child because you can't play." To the 6-year-old boy the owl said, "Your foster parents spend so much time dragging you to one meeting after another that they don't even take time to take you outside to play games with other kids." And to the crying 5-year-old girl, Angel Owl said, "And your parents are so wrapped up in making you into a thinking genius, they don't think that you are becoming a sad, very, 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 very sad little girl." Suddenly there was a loud explosion, and the three children were so scared of the horrible noise that their feet nearly jumped off the green grass. Angel Owl said, "The explosion comes from that direction. That's where Mr. Volcano lives. He's the meanest man in the world." The 7-year-old boy whose legs were trembling said, well, this has been very different than what I expected when I woke up and got out of bed this morning, but I need to get back to my normal life, so I'd like to get back onto the Stardust train and go to the exit of the Magic Castle and walk very calmly through the Wonder and Wonder Museum and go straight home. Angel Owl flew down from the tree branch and perched itself on the horse's black nose. Addressing the children, the wise owl said, "There are only a few minutes until the Magical Court's family court judge decides what to do with the three of you for doing things in the museum you shouldn't have done. If you don't get out of there in time, then Mr. Volcano will explode again, and you will have to run, and if the guards catch you, then you will be thrown into a dark dungeon." All three children screamed, No, please, let us go home." Anima Santa pointed her finger towards the cave. The children turned to stare, afraid of what might come out of the darkness. They were shocked when they saw their frightened and confused parents walking behind the alligator. The parents were too bewildered to even speak, but Angel Owl spoke. "The Stardust train is leaving in a few minutes to go back to the museum. Mr. Volcano is getting ready to explode again to send the kids running towards the dark dungeon. Time is very important right now for the Magic Castle family court judge to make a decision as to what should be the decision about the misbehaving children in the museum." Anima Santa's golden light beams turned pink, then purple, then red, then blue, then green, then pink, purple, red, blue, green, and finally returned to golden hues. "I have made my decision. If the parents of each of these three children will promise me that they will allow each child to play, then I will send you back to the museum on the Stardust train. So I can be of help to the parents. I will give you gifts. The singing angels will help distribute them one by one." Each of the beautiful angels flew down from the tree branches. One angel gave each child a jump rope. Another angel gave each child a pair of roller skates. The third angel gave each child a bucket of dirt and a packet of flower seeds. A fourth angel gave each child a soccer ball. And the fifth angel gave each child a pair of tap dancing shoes. Angel Owl said, "Now, parents, you must promise to allow your children to play with these wonderful items. Jump, skate, plant, kick, and run and dance. Jump, skate, plant, kick, and run and dance. Then these kids won't sit around the houses doing nothing but watching television and playing games on cell phones." And suddenly, Angel Owl was flying up into the sky and disappeared. The parents and children heard the alligator shout in its growling voice, "As usual, nobody gives me any credit for anything I do." Flapping its rough tail made of dark brown and golden green scales, it swam away. And the little girl shouted, "I'm so thankful you didn't eat me, Mr. Alligator." Anima Santa said, "I now give permission for all of you to gently climb onto the back of my golden swan. She will escort you to the green clouds, where you will see the peacock is waiting for you. With a little swirling and twirling through the sky, the peacock will take you upwards off the top of the magical star, and from there you will re-enter the castle, reboard the train, return to the Wonder and Wonder Children's Museum, and then go home." With that pronouncement, the Golden Magic Castle family court judge disappeared into the golden light beams. And after a whirlwind Stardust train ride, the three children and their parents re-entered the Wonder and Wonder Children's Play Museum. Everyone stayed all day and played together, and the parents realized that they too had forgotten how to play, and their children taught them how to do another things that adults had forgotten to do. Giggle! Well, boys and girls, that's story number 1 in my story, The Kids Who Played with the Singing Angels. I hope you enjoyed hearing it, and I certainly hope you either have, are, or will be playing real soon today. Let me ask you, do you have a jump rope? Do you have a pair of roller skates? Do you have a bucket and a packet of flower seeds? Do you have a soccer ball? Do you have tap dancing shoes? Perhaps you have other items to play with. But I sure do hope you have something to play with other than a television, remote control, or a cell phone. Okay. I'm Grandpa Giggles, and I hope to tell you story number 2 real soon. And as soon as I write it, as soon as I write it, but for now, I'm going outside to play. Yes, I'm going to go play amongst the trees. And then I'm going to jump into the lake and swim. And then I'm going to hike up to the mountains. And, would you all mind doing me a favor? Would you all let me hear you giggle one more time before I say see you soon? Oh, I'd love to hear you laugh and giggle. So I'll see you all real soon. Oh, one more thing, boys and girls. If you want to send me a message, ask your parents or grandparents to go on their computer and type in www.healthystages.net. Then they can send me an email from you. That's healthystages.net. I'll write back to your parents or grandparents, and they can give you my message. Oh, you can also hear this story on America Matters Media, and perhaps even YouTube, under the title, Kids Who Played with Singing Angels. Hey, I have an idea. Let's hear from the singing angels as we say, see you all real soon, and I hope you're all getting ready to play.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.